Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. So I made this very beautiful wedding cake last month, and I'm going to be taking you through the process of how it was made. Okay, so of course the first thing I did was bake my cakes, all the cakes I needed. I made fruit cake. Okay, this is light fruit cake, all right, and there's a recipe for this fruit cake on my channel already, so you can check that out. So here all of them were already baked, and here I have stacked them, trimmed, and here I have crumb coated. Okay, so I'm just going to show you briefly how I did the crumb coat and covered with fondant. All right, so altogether for that cake I used 15 kg of fondant. Okay, I didn't completely exhaust the entire thing, but I made 15 kg. All right, so I'm just going to crumb coat just one of the cakes for you to see, just in case you've not seen me do it before. I'm crumb coating just one, and I'm going to cover just one with fondant, and then you just since the cake doesn't have much designs on the individual cakes, just is the same design for all the cakes, so yeah, it will just be one that I'll decorate on here because of time. Okay. Okay, so if you notice, there's a board I put under this cake. Okay, and it has a hole at the center. Okay, so the hole I put it there on purpose. That's because I'm going to pass a rod in between the cakes. Okay, to help it stand firm. All right, because if you notice, the bottom of the cake is wider, and then it's kind of more narrow at the top part of the cake. I mean, like the entire wedding cake now. Okay, so that board is that board is open at the center so that the pipe that I'm going to pass through can go in. Okay, so that's the essence of that opening that you can see. All right. All right. So here I had covered all the other cakes with fondant, including the bridal shower cake. And yes, the base of the cake was a dummy. Okay, so this is the dummy I'll be using for the base of the cake. A lot of people have been asking me since I posted the picture if the base was a real cake or a dummy. um so yes, you can decide to make this as a cake. It will stress you a lot, it will stress you a whole lot. And I had to consult a few um big bakers that I've seen make this design, and there was only one person who made this as a cake. And yeah, she told the story of the struggles she went through. So yes, you can do this as a cake, you can decide to make this as a cake, but most people I have seen, most bakers I've seen who made this design, use the dummy as the base. If the client wants, a huge cake like this, you can decide to make the big cake and then design it and give it to them separately. But then it's easier, I'm not saying this is what you should do, but it's a lot easier if you use a dummy as your base. Okay, so I'm wrapping it up with cling film to help preserve the dummy. Okay, because I'm going to be using water on it before I add the fondant. So I wrapped it up with cling film, and that brown part you're seeing on this hose is just from a lot of use, like it's been used before. So that brown part is just the dummy is just getting old. Okay, so I'm going to cover it with fondant. Just as I walk, if you have any question, you can just leave it in the comment section. Like I said, you can decide to make this as a cake. It's going to be a very huge cake. Okay, it's the struggle will not be, no, it won't be easy. Okay, but it's doable. But for this one, I agreed with the clients, or the clients agreed with me to make this one as a dummy, so that was what I did. Okay, so what you're seeing me apply here with a brush is a mixture of CMC and water. Okay, just a mixture of CMC and water, and then I'm just applying it round the dummy. So you see, I'm applying it on the cling film instead of applying it directly on the dummy. Okay, so the cling film will help to preserve the dummy from getting too old, and from overuse. Okay, so the same rolling pin that I used for the small cake I covered first is the same one I'm using here. So I'm just going to use it to cover the rest of the dummy. And there was a hole at the down part of the dummy, at the lower part of the dummy, just a section that was cut out. I'll show you exactly what I did there and the reason why it was cut open. Okay, so just keep watching. All right, so for this hole that is that I cut open on the dummy, uh I'm going to put cake there, like a slice of cake there. The reason is that in as much as this is a dummy, the couple still have to cut their cake. Okay, so I'm putting a cake there so that they can have something to cut, and if they need to feed each other, they can cut a piece of cake from this place to feed each other. Okay, so um I first of all cut open the dummy, and then I kept the pieces that I cut out of the dummy just in case I need to fill it up later. I can still fill it up. And then I placed foil paper just to keep the cake safe. Okay, so there's foil paper at the four corner of the hole before adding the cake, and after adding the cake I'm also going to seal it up. Okay, so the cake is going to be completely safe. Okay, so if you notice, there's also foil at the base of the dummy, like on as if it's under the dummy. That's just to keep it safe. Okay, so I'm securing the cake as best as I can. Okay, so in as much as there's dummy added to the cake, the couple can still cut their cake, and they will be cutting cake, not dummy. Okay, so just watch the way that I'm going to seal it up. I'm going to crumb coat and then cover it with fondant. Okay. Okay, some of the reasons why some couple prefer to add dummies to their cakes, to their wedding cakes, is first of all, to reduce the cost. Second of all, some couple don't like the fact that while the wedding is still going on, the wedding cake is being taken away in order to share to the guests, right? So they prefer to, have their cakes standing in the hall there, or sitting in the hall, sitting or standing, just being in the hall until the ending of the to the end of the event before it's being taken away. So they just make their cake, put it aside for sharing, and then dummies is being made to just sit in the hall, just sit pretty there. Okay. So and for some other reasons as well, but this one, we had a mixture of both dummies and cakes, and it wasn't moved at all till the end of the event. Okay, so after covering the whole part of the cake, this is what it looks like. Okay. Okay, so as soon as I'm done covering this part of the cake with fondant, I mean, it's looking good already. Don't worry about these edges that you can see. The light is going to cover those parts, that part of the cake. Okay, so this is what the light looks like, the light that I used on the cake. All right, so this is exactly what it looks like. It's just this wire kind of light. Okay, so this is the beginning of the wire, and then it's just long and long, and this is the ending of the wire. This is the end part. Okay, this is where you plug into an outlet. All right, so this extra wire you're seeing here is just I just bought a few more yards. Okay, so the light in total is 7 yards. I bought 7 yards. It's kind of in a row, and then this joining here, you just get an electrician to join it together. Okay, so it's just like joining the main light to this extra wire. I bought this extra wire now just in case the outlet is far from where the cake would be in the hall. You understand? So it's either you buy extra wires, or you bring with you an extension that has a long wire. All right, so just in case the outlet in the wedding hall is far from where the cake is, you can just have extra wire to help. Okay, so this is what the light looks like. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it around the cake. So you see what I'm doing here? That's why I said not to worry about those rough edges on the cake. The light will cover it up. So I just showed you a florist wire, that's what it's called. So I cut it into small I cut like one long one into four, and then I'm using it to stick the I'm using it so this is it now. I'm using it to stick the light on the body of the cake, or dummy, or cake. Yeah, let's just call it cake. So assuming it's a cake, you can still do the same thing on it. Okay, so I'm just bending it, and I'm using it to attach the light on the body of the cake. Okay. All right, so what you see me holding here is the there's a wire, okay, kind of like a rod. So and then I attached the light to the wire, or to the rod. I don't know what to call it. It's a rod, sorry, it's iron. Okay, that's this S-shaped stuff I'm holding. That was what I used to get the spiral flower shape at the top of the cake. Okay, so it's just an iron rod. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, and then I've attached the light to the wire. So I first wrapped the light round the cake, so the remaining part of the light that is above, okay, I wrapped it round the cake. All right, so this wire, for this wire now you're seeing, I also wrapped the flower. I will just be wrapping the flowers with this tape. This is called florist tape. Okay, the same wire I used to attach the light to the cake is the same wire also I'm using to attach these flowers to the rod. So the light goes on the rod first, and then the flowers go next. Okay, so the light has to come first. All right, so what I'm doing here is attaching the flowers, just holding the flowers together like this, and then placing it. Just watch what I'm doing. I'm just placing. So the flowers, you have to kind of hold them together. So I just held them together with the same floral rod. You're looking at it now. Florist wire. Sorry. Oh God. Florist wire. Okay. So I held them together just like in a bunch of 4 or 3. Okay, and then I'm holding it down and then using this florist tape to kind of tie them to the rod. Okay, I hope I'm making sense at all. Just let me know in the comment section if there's something you don't understand so I can explain further. Okay, but I'm just going to continue to do this exact thing with the flowers until it fills the entire rod, until the entire rod is filled with flowers. Okay, so as big as this cake is, and uh everything that I did on the cake, this part of the job was the most tedious for me, attaching this flower to this rod. I would rather decorate a lot of cakes than do this part of this job. It was the most tedious. As of this time, it was almost midnight, and I just had to continue to go and go and go, and then try to fill up the rod with flowers. At a point my flowers finished. I had to go get more the next day. Okay, but seeing the finished work was worth it. Okay, so this is how far I've gone now. I'm just going to go off camera to continue filling up the rod with more flowers. Okay, so at this point they had taken our lights, and it was too late in the night to start to go to on my generator. So I just continued. I was determined to show you every step of the way, the process for which I made this cake. So I was using my phone torchlight here to record and to show you. So this is how far I was able to go on the first day. Okay, and then I'm just showing you how I attached the flowers to the body of the cake, this part of the cake. Okay, so here I was still using my phone torchlight just to show you this part. And all right, so by the next day I started to stack. Okay, so you can see how the flowers went round the cake, and here I'm using my plum to make sure the cake is straight. I'll also be testing the light to make sure the light is working. Okay, so that's the separator I used. It's called chandelier. So that was what I used. So here I tested the light to make sure it's still in order, and yeah, I turned it off and then I continued to stack. Okay, so that's the rod that I would pass through the cake, but I didn't pass it through now because I was still just working on the cake. I'll still need to bring them out, put them up to fix the flowers later, so I didn't put the rod yet. So here I'm trying out I had filled up the rod with the flowers, so I was trying to see what it looks like on the cake. Okay, so I turned the light on again just to check. I had not fixed the top part of the flowers properly yet, so I had to climb my table to try to fix it. Okay, so this was Friday night. Tomorrow, the next day, was going to be the wedding. So here I had inserted the rod. As you can see, I had inserted it into just two of this one, and then I was just tired of filming. But now you understand everything I did on this cake, right from the base, which is the dummy, to the how I covered the cakes with fondant, how I made this spiral flower stuff on top, okay, how I fixed the lighting. You understand all that part now. Okay, so this is our beautiful cake. It turned out excellently. Okay, it turned out very beautiful. The bride was very pleased. And this is our cake in the hall. Everyone loved it and it was beautiful. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please click on the subscribe button, because I'll be bringing a lot more amazing cake tutorials and pastry tutorials. And please, if you learned a thing or two here, please give me a like on this video and leave a nice comment as well. Thank you guys for watching. Bye. Oh, and this is me. I don't think I've shown my face on here before. This is me dancing beside my cake and just being very grateful to God for a job well done. Thank you guys, and bye.